I guess the next one I'll talk about is another alphabet project. They were working on the letter V, and this has to do with what I was talking about with the Hawaiian project, how we talked about the volcanoes because we had already worked on that. So this was the volcano and violin project. So these were two different projects. I knew that neither one of them would really take up the full time, but I thought that both of them would be interesting to make with the kids, and I know that they loved the musical instrument project, so maybe bringing instruments back into the classroom would be fun for them. The violin is really simple. I prepped this by cutting the shape out because I think that it would have been too hard for them to cut that out, and I cut punched 3 holes into either side. And then I didn't want them to have to worry about how long the string was, so I actually put the string through one of them to see how long I would need it to be, and then cut 13 pieces of string that was that size, because that's my class size. And so this one began by just kind of talking about the letter V and what they had learned that week, what words started with V, because Donna always likes it when I try to have them speak about what they've already learned, and so it's kind of jogging their memory and stuff like that. So the violin was actually one of the words that they had learned, so that was good. And they have, like I was talking about earlier, the liquid watercolor there, which is awesome. I recommend getting that. It's really fun to use. And when they used it on these violins, they actually covered the entire violin, and it almost looked like they tie-dyed it. So it was really neat. They used green and then they used red, and they covered the whole thing. And then they learned how to string the string through. And as easy as this looks, it was actually very difficult for them to do, because the string, learning how to follow it from the top one to the bottom and putting it through the right hole, it was really difficult for them to do. So easy project to prep, but it takes a good amount of time. And then the second project we did that day was the volcano project, and we talked about how the volcano actually looks like the letter V, so that was interesting to them. And Gabby helped me prep the piece of paper where we put the lines on it, but we didn't cut it ourselves because I figured this would be a good chance for them to practice their cutting skills, because it was pretty easy. They just had to follow the black line, and for the most part they all did a really great job. There's enough of us in there that if they need assistance, it's pretty easy to help them out, so they all did a good job with that. And once they cut this out, we glued it to a black piece of paper. A big black piece of paper, and there were small scraps that we had made of yellow, orange, and red for the lava. And I showed them photographs on my iPad of volcanoes that were erupting so that they could see just exactly what that looks like. And so this was one of them. I don't know if you guys can see it with the glare, but they thought that was really cool. And so it inspired them to make the lava look realistic. It was coming out of the top, flowing down the sides, and they used their gluing skills here, so they were gluing the lava. And then to end it, we used cotton balls for the smoke. So all of this is really inexpensive, but really fun to use. So they used the cotton balls, they took them apart and then glued them to the top to look like the smoke. So that was the volcano project. Both of them, again, very easy, but really, really good for the kids to work on their basic skills.